Howdy folks, my name is Darren from RC Scale Models, and today we have another kit review. This one's from Zvezda 1/48 scale Su-57. It's their new generation fighter. Let's take a look what we get in the box. So this is the large box. It's a very big kit. Can't really find a kit number, but I presume it's 48224. Colour call outs to me and Zvezda paints. I never use their paints. As I say, it's the new generation fighter. Looks a bit like F-22 Raptor slash the old YF-23. You can see where it's got a design from. Inside we have the instructions, decals. Here is the fuselage moulded as two giant halves, and then a couple of sprues, and that's pretty much it, and some clear. I do know there is a decal sheet coming out soon for this, so you can do this pattern, and I will talk about the colours, the closest colours that I can get references, because when you look at the real aircraft, don't know what type of paint they've used, but when it's in different light, in bright light, this greeny grey colour is more blue. In the dark it goes grey. It all depends on the light system. So the closest I can work out for that, we'll talk about it in a minute. Okay folks, this is the paperwork. You get your colour sheet, your decals and worksheet. What we will do is I'll talk about these colours in a minute, of how difficult it is to try and work out what colours they're using. As for the worksheet, this is the worksheet. You get option to have it on a stand or without, but the stand is an extra option. You're going to have to buy that separately. Doesn't come in the kit. There isn't much information on the aircraft because it's Russians' latest fighter. They're not going to reveal much, and it is difficult to find information and stuff on it. As for the instructions go, sprue map, 2 main sprues, 2 fuselage halves, and the clear. That's pretty much it. The basics are there, but it's going to require some aftermarket to get it up to tip-top shape. First step is working on the cockpit and the cockpit tub. There's not going to be much dials and levers and whatever. It's going to be futuristic touch screens, so the cockpit is going to be very basic and bare and quite boring. You do get a pilot option if you wish to do so, which is a nice touch. And then once this is built up and painted, you can drop it in from underneath. A couple of tabs to fill in, and this piece to go in the centre. Step 3 is weapons and bomb bay, not bomb bay, but weapons bay doors open. If you're going to have them open, you need to slice the piece in half, I think. This is the weapons bay and hard points. You have the missiles. I'm not sure what missiles the Russians uses. Intakes, there's 2 halves, and we've got the landing gear segments attached to the intakes as well. I have looked at the real references. This is quite accurate with these lines. Closed flaps. These are the intakes. These are the fins. Instrument head-up display piece and your glass. You can have these flaps open. Inside the canopy, you've got some structural parts. You've got some little conads or canads at the front of the aircraft to go in. Canopy open or closed. This is your main landing gear for the tail. These are the bomb bay or weapons bay doors open. These are the weapons for extra fuel tanks and missiles. This is the landing gear open or landing gear closed. More weapons, missiles and fuel tanks and stuff. Weapon loadout you want your aircraft to do. You don't have to put them on at all. You can have it quite clean. And then the stencil data. But one thing I do notice, there a lot of people were complaining about there isn't much detail in the front wheel bay, but when you look at the real aircraft, if you look at the front wheel bay, it's closed in anyway, so you're not going to see the detail inside. As for the decals, we have nice stars. The blues have got to go around these. I don't know why they didn't print it like added them to it already. I don't know why. The aircraft I'll be doing is 509, I believe. And then we have these shiny decals that go on the underside. We do have some instrument panels, decals, stencil data, pretty cool. This sheet here is for all the walkways. Unfortunately, the carrier film is in the centre of all these walkways, unfortunately, so it's going to take a lot of solution to get this bed down so you don't see it so much. I've never used the Zvezda decals, so I can't say how thick or well they go down. Hopefully there's no problems. So this is the colour option. I don't have any of these colours unfortunately, so I'm not going to be doing this one. But this one is the one I'll be doing. It looks like it's a light blue with a blue-grey top. That's what they're calling out for. But when I check out the reference pictures, if you look here on these reference pictures, you see in some light conditions it is more blue. Some conditions it's more grey. The underside is more blue, like a light blue, and then sometimes it's more light grey, like a white. So it all depends on the lighting conditions. As that goes for colour wise, the underside, they're calling out for instructions to use Tamir colour as a conversion is FX50, FX23. It's the German Luftwaffe blue. To me, it's got too much blue in it. It's far too light of a blue. I think that's slightly off. But what I am going to use, the closest I can find to having a light blue in Russian colour, is this Russian light blue colour. It's got more white in it, so I'll be using this based off these pictures. As for the top, they're calling out for Tamir's FX18. That is pretty damn close, but to me again it's got a little bit too much blue in it. But I want more grey blue, so I thought the closest of grey blue I have is intermediate blue. This has got more grey in it. I have the AK version, but this is more darker. Obviously it's different manufacturers, so the paint colour is going to be slightly different. Or I do have Vallejo's, but again Vallejo colour is pretty much identical to the AK. It's pretty much quite dark. As for the nose, tail, fins, and this little hatch on the side of the aircraft, they're calling out for the conversion of FX65. It's far too completely wrong. That's dark green. That is not dark green. On the reference pictures, it's the same colour as the underside, but just slightly off, if you know what I mean. So it's got a slight, how can I put it, sometimes it's got again on the pictures, it all depends on the lighting conditions. Sometimes it's more an off grey, and then sometimes it's more like duck egg colour, which has got more green in it. So on that basis, I'm just going to use the same colour as the underside, but just a touch bit of grey in it, just to change the tone slightly. So on the basis of that, I'm going to be using this as the underside, And the top, I'm toying between, like they've got for FX18, which is blue grey, or more. If I want more grey in it, I'm going to use this one. So that's what I'm going to use for the colours. It is difficult to find the right colours. I wish they would have had the other options in the kit, which was the splinter camouflage. If you want to do that, you're going to have to find the aftermarket decals to do that, unfortunately. Now, as for the kit itself, these are the two halves of the aircraft. Moulded as one large piece, which is nicely done. You have to take care of these tabs, cut this out, this piece at the back. There is quite a weird texture on the aircraft, but the panel lines are there, but there is no rivets or anything, because like I say, it's going to be made of composite materials and stuff, so it's going to be quite clean, but the basics are there. It is good. You're going to get all your ejector pins on the inside, which you don't have to worry about. As for the underside, it's here. You're going to have to cut this out because this is the weapons bay all the way along the aircraft. Take care of this. Again, this is what people are saying. There's no detail, but with the wheel sits here, and then there is a cover goes over this anyway, even with the landing gear down, so you're not going to see inside the wheel bay anyway. So I don't know why people are complaining when you're not going to see inside anyway. Again, nice detail. As I say, this hatch here and this part of the nose is the off grey colour, or sometimes it looks more minty green. It all depends on the lighting. So like I say, I mentioned before, I'm just going to do an off-white colour in there. Detailed on the wings is nice. There is a 1/48 scale resin version done by HPH, I think, do a resin version of this, but it's super expensive. It's like £300 or whatever. This is a plastic version from Zvezda, much cheaper. You can pick up for about 60 quid. But the detail's pretty good. Should go together nicely. I do have an F-22 Raptor in my stash to build. I have built the YF-23 if you wish to watch that video. So I do have 5th generation fighters and stuff and whatever. I am looking to get a the Lightning, what is it? I am looking to get an F-35 to go with the next generation aircraft, but all the ones out there just seem really off, and the panel lines and stuff and the detail just seems too raised. I haven't really found a good one out there yet. This is the clear parts. Again, very basic. It's a bubble canopy. It's going to be wide open for good visibility. These are some of the best clear parts I've ever seen. Zvezda, you've done really well on these clear parts. These are pretty good. Nicely done. This is the rest of the kit. And this is another reason why I don't like kits being in one bag, because bits get broken. Especially like that. So hopefully it's not a important part. I've had this kit pretty much from day one when it got released, but if parts are getting broken now this early, it's not good. later on you're going to go and buy this gear in a couple of years time, it's going to be passed around, shoved around, parts are going to get even more broken, so it's not good. We complain about it every time to manufacturers, but they don't seem to listen. Don't stuff everything in one bag. We have 2 of these sprues. I'm not sure if there's any differences. Nope, no differences between these. So you will get some extra parts, like more extra nozzles, even though there's only 2 on the aircraft anyway. But as I say, these are detailed for the nozzles. They look pretty good for plastic. We have wheels assembly. Unfortunately, this wheel section is, yeah, the wheels are molded as 2 pieces. There's part of the turbines. This is part of the afterburner ring. There's inside part of the engine as well. Well, you can see that. So these all top sections are part of the engine. Here's one of the weapons, quite large missile. We have the small wheel at the front, again 2-piece. Here is your pilot figure, nicely done. And his feet and arms. As I say, because there's 2 of these, you're going to get two pilot figures as well, so you're only going to need 1. So if you do screw it up, you can always revert to it. Hard points, pretty good. I'm not going to stick any weapons on the outside attached to the wings because I think it looks pretty good and pretty clean, just open. So extra fuel tanks, so I won't be using a lot of this. I'll have the weapon bay open probably, but I won't actually have the extra missiles and fuel tanks on the wings. This sprue here contains the weapons bay. So you've got all these lumps and bumps. These are meant to be there. You have got a ejector pin there to take care of, unfortunately. It's only 1, which is okay. These are the hard points. This looks like a structural spar that goes down the centre. Again, there's a ejector pin there that you're going to have to take care of, but it's easy done. These are, looks like part of the doors. Here's another spar, centre ejector pin to take care of. Here are some of the missiles. These are the ones that sit in the weapons bay. I will be using these. I think they're either an orange or dark blue. I'm not sure. I'd have to check my references. And this is another reason why we don't like parts being in one bag. This is a part, structural part. This is part of my wheel bay. It's snapped clean in half. That piece of plastic that has come off is a part of my boarding ladder, which has totally destroyed it. Unfortunately, if I want my canopy open now, to use the boarding ladder, I'm going to have to find an aftermarket, which is not bloody good. Pisses me off. This is why we don't put stuff in one bag. Brake assembly. There's your instrument panel. Again, because it's all computerized, this is going to be 2 touch screens. Fins and wings. These are nicely done. It's a shame about that ladder, unfortunately. I'm not going to stick my parts back in the bag. I'm just going to leave it in the box because I don't plan on getting them broken anymore. Here's a cockpit tub, like I said, very basic. There's next to nothing there because it's all computerized these days. Ejector seat looks pretty good. You will going to need the aftermarket seat if you don't use the pilot for seatbelts and whatever. Landing gear doors. Here's your main weapon bay doors. A couple of panel lines in there. And this is, don't know. Here is part of your intakes, and this is the inside of the wheel bay. This ribbon is meant to be there. And here's the other side. It's pretty cool. So there you are, my friends. There's a kit from Zvezda, Su-57. One thing I will mention before I go, I did notice this on the back of the box, which I've only just noticed. Here's the colours that they've built and what they've used. See, the nose is more grey. It's different to the underside. They call out for the DS colour. It's totally wrong. So I'll be doing it like this. The light grey. The top is more intermediate blue. Pretty cool. This is the first aircraft, if I'm not mistaken, that is in the Russian Air Force. Is a functionable aircraft, and it's red number 1. And the one I want to be doing is this one here, as I've shown before, is 509. That aircraft and paint scheme is based on the same as this, but this one here was still in the testing processes. I might do that one, I don't know, but the colours are the same anyway. But there you go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.